We are thrilled you're joining us as we launch our very first episode. We're bringing you a global perspective on the interior design industry, and we couldn't imagine a more fitting guest to begin this conversation. Today's guest is Ginger Hartford, founder of EurDesign Studio, a true master of marketing within the global art and design industry. Ginger most recently served as head of design at Dallas Market Center, where she became a trusted champion of luxury media, top designers, and the entire Dallas design community. She now steps in her next chapter as Global Vice President of Marketing, Branding, Creative for Art Studios, a legacy fine art agency with partnerships including Martha Stewart, Disney, and Art Basel.
Art Basel.
Basel. There we go. Thank you. You can follow her incredible journey through art, design, and travel on Instagram. It's actually my favorite channel.
Thank you.
You do a phenomenal job. Your view through a lens is incredible. The handle is at EurDesign_studio, and we'll put it in the link to the episode so everybody can follow along.
Fabulous.
So, fresh from Paris.
Oh, I know.
Attending Maison Object. She brings a truly global point of view. So please join me in welcoming Ginger Hartford.
Glad. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
And it's the debut.
It is the debut. Yes. What a better way to kick it off than a global art icon. Really, fashion icon.
No.
So I know it's tricky coming back from a global trip.
Yes.
And catching up with things. So thank you so much for your time today.
And you as well. So
yeah.
Fabulous.
We
just both got off the plane.
I
and
won't
here
stay
we are.
this tan for long. So just maybe tell a little bit about, I think we should start with Paris.
Yes.
So how was it?
Oh, gosh.
It's your favorite place on the planet.
It is. I'm just, Paris is, I always say that I'm Southern at heart, I'm European by soul, and somehow I ended up being a Texan. So, but Paris is my love language. I've had the opportunity to travel there in every season and many, many times throughout my career, personally, professionally. I love solo travel. But every time I go back to Paris, it's different. It's a different experience. And I get to see and explore things that I didn't prior. And so this was the first time that I was able to make Maison and Objet in January, which is a little bigger than fall. And I was there in September. So totally different experience. It was incredible.
So what is the season there now?
What's that?
The season there now in January.
It's full on winter. It's full on winter.
Yeah.
It was quite chilly.
Was it?
But it's just, and the city is truly magical in warmer weather in spring, summer, fall. But still, there's so many sites and heritage and architecture, and they are design aficionados. Mm-hmm. It was incredible to see that design really comes forth in color, in shape, especially in heritage prints. And, we see so much with wall coverings and prints and patterns and textiles. There, it really sets the standard. It was incredible to see these showrooms like little ateliers and wonderful streets in districts that had shop after shop for the design industry.
Amazing.
It was fabulous. It was really
great.
So
do you see, now you've been there several times, and you understand maybe the time it takes for their design inspirations to actually get here?
Yes.
What would you say that lapse is?
It's interesting because of product development that happens sometimes a year plus before the actual debut in France and with Maison. So that life cycle is happening a couple years before it ever hits, because they're debuting there, and then the life cycle, of sourcing and then bringing product in, and then migrating from Europe to North America. It's a couple years. What debuted in January, it's getting shorter because of leads and influences and how interconnected everyone is. But the design, the color, and the trends you're going to start to really see this time next year everywhere, especially the color palettes.
Oh, yes. I can't wait to see that. Mm-hmm. So the conference I was just at was in Cancun with Cosentino, See Next. and Four Hands was represented there, and they had their main designer was there.
Yes.
And he was talking about the fact that he has already, 26 is over.
Right.
27 is already planned in the books, and he's planning 28.
Exactly.
So they're grabbing those same influences, and it was just interesting to hear how many years it really takes.
It is.
And how far advanced they are, and their forethought on what that trend is going to be because it's coming from over there.
That's so true. And in my background, I worked a majority of my background with manufacturers and product development. So, whether it was product development with programs with RH, or it was product development that was going out and distributing with manufacturers that were overseas. So I understand those life cycles. Four Hands is an incredible brand, but the trend and the sourcing and the inspiration and the product concepts and sampling, and then approvals, and then marketing and collections and debuts. It's a huge life cycle.
It is.
But it's fascinating because it's more aspects of design too for the industry that sometimes even students don't realize is
all that
design.
background that takes you to get to that point.
Right.
So talking about the students, right? So most of our people listening are either students or they're aspiring into the industry as a second career.
Perfect.
So going back, have a little alumni fun here. Yeah. Let's talk about maybe where you started. Where did you go to school? Did you get a degree in design? Because I find that a lot of my colleagues, we know a ton of four-year designers, four-year degree designers.
Right.
But a lot of people take another winding path to get them to where they are now.
True.
So where did you start?
I started at the intersection of art and design. And that's where I started in college. And actually today I'm still at the intersection of art and design. So I'm putting this together, but I was from Cincinnati, and University of Cincinnati has their DAP program, Design, Art, Architecture, and Planning.
Perfect.
So I was always an artist, and I came up through, and to me, visually, art is design, it's aesthetic. So everything is inspiration. So I went that path. And I also attended the Antonelli Institute of Art and Photography. And so for me, art and design always interlapped. And I remember this point, I was standing in a hall at the college campus, and down one aisle was the interior design program, and down another aisle was the fine art program. And because I'd come up through the arts, I went down the fine art. But I remember looking over at that aisle, wait a minute, I really want to do this too.
I want them both.
So long story short, I started working with a Berkshire Hathaway company that served the design industry and fine art for gilding and products and frames and museums, galleries, and all. And it took me around the world, but I didn't get that interior design degree,
right? Because
that company took me around the world, and I had
need
more.
It.
No, I had more opportunities and life experiences than I could have ever imagined when I was standing in that corridor with both. It was just my career path took me, and so I've been able to work within industry with major brands in the design field, all throughout my career.
I think that's a phenomenal point for students, right? So you do have to pick at some point, like which direction you're going to go. And we know plenty of people that are in the industry that maybe went all business, but they had this creative pull on their heart, right? And they try to find a way back in. Yes. So you do have to make a choice.
Right.
So that first job obviously was phenomenal for you, right? It really sent you in a trajectory.
Yes.
What would you say for students that are listening? Maybe that first step is not as amazing as yours, right? Are there places where maybe you sign on with, whether it's a firm or a product or a trade or whatever, and they're just not feeling that pull? Because I think in our industry, if your heart is not in it, it's really not where you're supposed to be. You need to pivot.
This is true. I think my best advice is learn from experience. And this is that no matter what you do, you're building perspective. It's a 360. It's a 360. And I believe in this because whether you work for a tile company, you're getting access to the design industry. Whether you're working for a design firm, you're getting access and perspective to certain levels of clients. Whether you work for Dallas Market Center, you're getting access and perspective and how the industry works. And whether you work for a manufacturer, for me, every role that every company I've worked with has given me access to perspective, experience, projects in design. And I have built my expertise in, and also I've been able to differentiate myself that way because I'm stronger as a whole because of those perspectives and those experiences. They all support each other. And if you think about your career and your life, your experience that way, always look for what is this giving you, and you keep evolving. So this, where you are now, can inform what you do next. It can help elevate to what you do next. And so for me, if you're not finding, it's not about, out, cut and run. It's about let's take it next level. It shapes your perception and your perspective. It makes you stronger.
What can I take from what I just did?
Right.
And move into that next, whatever phase that is of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it could go completely different.
Yes. And to your point, as well as you're going to be investing in where you work, with those people who you work with, you're doing life together. So think about that, about, your choices. You might be gaining valuable experience, but also you have a choice. Keep leaning in. Don't give up on where you want to be or who you want to work with or what's aspirational and inspirational, because you can make choices too.
The goals are so important.
Right.
Right. You have to have a goal. And maybe you don't quite know because you're not in the industry deep enough.
Right.
But as things evolve, as you learn from each one of these experiences, you need to have your goals.
Right.
And we always say, write them on paper or they don't exist. Like put them somewhere. Yes. I don't care if it's in lipstick on a mirror, but put them somewhere.
Yes.
Put them in your shoes. I don't care where you put them, but write them down.
Right.
And always strive for that. And goals change. It's not a solid line. So I feel like at this point in your career, you've gone back to international, global, which you love so dearly. And I know that there was a while you were striving for that.
Right.
So do you have, I know you just jumped into this role, but do you have some future goals that you already have set your mind on that you would be willing to share?
Yes. Well, I'm working with a legacy company that is trying to really understand who they are and also communicate that, and is sort of a sleeping giant and really hasn't. Sometimes legacy companies, they speak to certain aspects of the business, but not the whole, right, and what makes them truly different. So I get that opportunity to help them up level, and they are a global company. But, when we go back to interest, I have great network and relations and past experience with manufacturing that was around the world. And I wanted to work more with brands that could scale.
Right.
And so it's, I walk down the street in Paris and it's like, I'm doing, my sister, she's like, you're doing what you said you wanted to do.
Exactly. I've heard that from you several
Yes.
times, and you're walking down the streets in Paris.
So, but I have a lot of work ahead of me. And so, but it's just trying to find your path and make it your own.
And your experiences with what you're trying to do with this and a legacy company. Right. Trying to pull them into what today is needed to be seen.
Right.
And elevate the brand. Everything that you've done to this point, I mean, you have that foundation to kind of pull from every aspect. And your community connections are phenomenal within the industry. I mean, if you guys don't know Ginger, like everybody knows Ginger. She's been at all the markets and makes a presence and is so supportive of our industry.
I feel like I have found my place. Something about the design industry, the community is everything. And if you show up and lean in, and I feel like one of the things that I feel most strongly about is I'm championing everyone and my community from the front lines. I feel like showing up is valuable currency. It's showing support and I want everyone to succeed. And how can I do that? I'm going to try to show up and be there for you.
Be there, be present.
Be present.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And with our devices all the time, and
yes.
and wonderful things can happen in a room, and you're checking a text or an email or whatever, and you're not present in the moment.
No.
You're missing these wonderful opportunities.
I had a quote that came up and stopped me in my tracks too, because when you show up, opportunities present themselves. And sometimes you don't even realize that. But if you're showing up, you start to make connections, or opportunities can present themselves. I was not expecting certain opportunities, and because you're visible, you get to not only lean in and support others, but you can build trust too.
Absolutely.
And I will say this for all the students, or just anyone getting started in the industry too. I always meet people that, some aren't as comfortable stepping in, stepping out, or leaning in, or showing up. But I will tell you this fun little magical thing is that I do a lot of solo traveling, and I know that's not everyone's jam, but it's rocked my world. I love it. But what happens is I will find something of interest, and I'll just lean in and I'll show up. And sometimes en route, I'll think, good Lord, like, what am I walking into? Should I even be here? Should I even do this? Like, do I need to? And every time something magical happens, I meet interesting people, something fun happens. I have a fun, enjoyable experience. I have great stories.
Yeah.
Hilarious stories about just showing up, and
you're so good about that.
Don't hold yourself back.
I think with the students that we've interacted with over the years, and you've had a lot of interactions with them.
Right.
It's so hard as these youngsters, and not just design students, all students.
Yes.
They're just withdrawn, right? And they're shy, and they want to be there, but they don't know how to be there.
Right.
We had a student, I'm not going to call him out on the podcast. He would freak out, but you know exactly who I am. A couple of years ago from a student symposium, that all he did was show up.
Right.
And from that moment on, I mean, it was a week, 2 weeks later, I think you even brought up his name, and
With
you're like,
the
so-and-so.
biggest smile.
Yes. And we're like, oh my gosh, like everybody knows him now.
Right.
And all he did was show up.
Yes.
He's won awards. He's participated. He's, he's on boards and committees.
Yes.
So I think stepping outside your boundaries.
Yes.
And just being present. I realize school is tough. You've got assignments due. There's all this stuff, but just make the time to connect and network within the industry.
So important. And, for that gentleman, I certain people you notice where they're just absolutely overjoyed to be there.
He was so joyful, always smiling.
So, hey, he's got a brand already, and he's recognized. And how's that going to help with opportunities as well? But find your people, find your community. You'll find some of your best friends and best resources and career opportunities as you go along. So, that commitment, these organizations in the design community are incredible.
So important.
Very.
And they're very different. So I'm a recent member of NKBA, so the National Kitchen and Bath Association, and I've been part of ASID and IDS forever, right? So I know those people so well. And it's interesting as we're going to the meetings for NKBA, these are remodelers. They do kitchen and bath. That's what they do. Right. They don't do the furnishings and all the pretty and all the jewelry.
Right.
And it's a different group of people. And I think exploring those different areas within the industry, different groups and organizations, you will find your people.
True.
And, the fluffy fashion ones may not be your people, but you love the industry. And maybe it's more the engineers and the builders and the contractors.
Yes.
And there's a group for that.
That's a great point too, because when students are trying to find their place, maybe they, there's certain character traits. Are you very analytical, or are you very expressive? Do you, what are you drawn to? And so finding your place is key to exploring that.
It helps your happiness within the industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just has been, it's been amazing to watch because we do both. I'm definitely on the other side, admittedly, more of the foo-foo, fluffy, beautiful aesthetic. But I'm also, my dad was an architect. And I was raised on construction sites.
Right.
So I would go with him. And so I am a complete construction nerd. I mean, get me there on demo day. I love seeing what's behind the walls.
Right.
But I'm usually on the other side of it. So I'm kind of right in the middle, but it's been really interesting to see.
It sounds like you're stronger for that perspective and those experiences.
Absolutely.
And then you get to come to design in a totally different way. Everyone shows up differently. And so you have those perspectives.
Absolutely.
You know?
And we do everything from the interior to the exterior to new builds.
Right.
And being able to talk logically to a builder or an architect that this isn't going to work for this reason or whatever. Right. I mean, that's huge. Not everybody has that background. So leaning into all of those life lessons, and as a young student or maybe a professional coming in from another career, I think you may not feel like you have the experience to draw on.
Right.
But it is back there. You just have to pull it to the front and say, how can I use this information to my best ability at this time?
That's a great point. Yeah. Really great points.
So takeaways. What about, you've given us so many takeaways for the students. What would be something that you might, I don't know, if you didn't listen to anything else we said today?
Well, I was thinking about this, I'm continually learning. Students are, they're all in, and it's a certain stage, but you'll always be continually learning. And so some of the best, I feel like students are, they're individuals and businesses and brands. Everyone is still, we all face many of the same challenges, but invest in yourself would be something I really wanted to emphasize, is that always invest in yourself and your learning, because students, it's not always the structure of the class or the program or the degree that you're in. You're investing in yourself and life skills in the design industry. I think that's really important too, is that find your mentors and find the platforms where you can learn. So podcasts is fabulous.
Right.
So just for example, you really want to understand the industry and sort of who's who, and then also kind of learn behind the design or inside the design of some of these amazing brands that are in industry. Well, find Business of Home. Listen to it every week on Thursday.
That's a great one. Yeah.
It's just, you start to build relationships. You start to hear people of how they started out, and they'll share their stories. It's incredible. It also humbles everyone to realize we all started out at the same stage.
Yes.
And your icons that are out there, they're all going through the same challenges. So invest in yourself by finding the platforms like this one to learn, because that is real world insight that you can't learn in a class, that's going to make an impact for you. And then also invest in yourself in events for the design community. I, loved building out programs with Dallas Market Center and Dallas Design Week. And I'm so attracted to Texas Design Week and then more nationally as well. Now there's London, there's so much happening. Is invest in yourself in the communities, because if you see a panel of icons, and Christine, you were an amazing panelist for lighting expertise during Lightivation, but invest in yourself to set time aside to continually look for those events that give meaningful, valuable information. And, listen to others. Interior design editor-in-chief was just here, and to actually have access to Cindy Allen and listen to her, or listen to other designers, your confidence will grow as well. And you have every right to be there as a student.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
No.
We're not talking about things you have to join and organizations you have to pay for. Mm-hmm. You just have to be aware of what's going on.
Right.
And take the time to be there.
And I hear of so many students that started with internships that literally were relationships.
Absolutely.
So relationships, you put a face to the name, and you introduce yourself and stand out, and again, design community, people love to support each other.
Absolutely.
So that's my biggest takeaway is just invest in yourself continually.
I love it. And I'm going to throw out there again, students, the word invest does not mean financial.
Right.
Right. Because we know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you're empowering yourself.
I love that.
Yes.
Let's say empower. Empower yourself. Be present. Empower yourself.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This was an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
A great way to kick off the podcast.
It's fun. Fabulous.
I know, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So we'll have to check in with you after a little bit and see where your journey is then going to take you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was fabulous. And again, it's you are so well regarded in the industry as well. And I love to see how you mentor and just naturally lift everyone up. So how fitting for your podcast as
let's
well.
Let's just do this.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ginger.
Thanks.